What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classic Line blog. And if you're new here on this channel where we talk about nice money, I'm your host with the most, author of The Smartphone Millionaire, How to Invest in People, Businesses, and Real Estate from the Palm of Your Hand. Also, I'm wearing my most famous shirt I love from Grant Cardone. I apologize in advance. If you could, drop your city and state in the chat. I just would love to know where some of y'all are coming from tonight. Now, I have been on, and I just want everybody to understand, it's 8 days until Black Friday. This is the Super Bowl. This is the Christmas. This is the New Year's Eve of internet and online businesses. At the same time, and in the same year, I am in the process of rehiring 6 more drivers starting in December. I'm closing finally of this ridiculous saga of a business buying experience. Finally closing. Transfer of accounts, transfer of name, transfer of deed. This huge project. And there's other projects I'm working on at the same time. There's still 2-3 homes being remodeled at this moment. So if you haven't seen me, it's because I'm busy. And I know you think, Erica, but you're goofing off on Instagram. You're goofing off here and there. There are apps that post stuff for you. I have staff that post stuff for me. If you haven't noticed, I bought some new hair stuff. We're trying it out. And, in a reflection of, this is my most asked question. When should I quit my job? And I'm torn on it because, 2 days ago was the 3-year anniversary of our friend who, lost her life in a car accident, and she had just got married 60 days before that, and she was moving. And I always think now is the time, right? We're never guaranteed tomorrow. We don't know what tomorrow may hold. Throw it all out on the line today, right? And with that reflection of things, this is why I just have very little patience on the internets where people make fun of, single moms and, oh, I'm never getting married and this and that. And then you look up and old boy done had a heart attack and now you're looking for a wife. Old pimps and players wanting to retire and they looking for a wife. I live out here in the real world and I do real numbers and I do real business. And I just always want y'all to understand that's where I come from, right? Today I posted an interview on my Facebook page and somebody tried to get in the comments and they tried to do a backhanded comment. He said, make sure you work out, baby. I said, no, make sure you work out. You only showing us, brother, your neck from your neck up. I ain't seen no collarbones. Anyways, let's just get on to it. All right. If you want to support the channel, you can cash at me at SW Investment at Cash App, or you can super chat the channel. Listen, all these things are cash and we will take them. Welcome to the show. Now, again, the number one question I get is, Erica, I want to quit my job. I want to get out of here. And the number one thing I'm going to ask a lot of you is, what is your freedom number? Please put in the chat, what is your freedom number? What is the number it'll take for you to get to free? And part of the reason y'all keep seeing me in the community posts, posting people moving into the middle of the woods, people quitting their jobs and selling everything and moving into storage unit containers, okay, is because the average person in America only make $30,000 a year. I just watched a couple and they bought a piece of land on a lake in the middle of nowhere, and there was a barn, and they redid one room in the barn so they could live in the barn, so they could quit their restaurant jobs and build 2 40-foot storage containers with a middle in the middle of it so they could live with less debt. They quit those 2 restaurant jobs, sold their house, took all that cash. And she literally says throughout several parts of the video, he didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing, but I believed in him. And many men want you to run around believing in them like that. Believing in them like that. And I want you to believe in your man like that. But I also want your man to have a plan. Okay. And what you realize, the more you watch these storage container videos, these people moving in the middle of the woods videos, even when I tell y'all about moving an hour outside of your city videos, it's because people don't make no money. And there's something has to give. See, the man would have to either get more skills and get a different job. He don't want to do that. The wife would have to get better skills and get a better job. She don't want to do that. She want to be home with her baby. That means somewhere in the middle, they have to cut debt. I watched a video of a beautiful couple. They bought a piece of land facing on the lakes in Washington. And they out in the boonies in Washington. And he half black. I'm like, how'd you get out there in the first place? But that's another question for another day. And they built, I don't even know if theirs is 40. Yeah, it's 40 foot. 40 foot short container facing on a lake with a deck. And all these people say the same thing. We didn't know how to do any of this, but we learned via YouTube. And it just brings me back to the fact that I come here on YouTube and I come here to laugh just like y'all. I watch some funny channels here and there, but it's 20% of my time, not 80% of my time. 80% of my time, I'm studying people and studying why they do what they do, right? And some of the courses I'm releasing for Black Friday, I'm probably going to release them midnight tonight or tomorrow or whatever. If you see a late night email, that's what it is. Because I understand. I understand what it's like to be in debt, to be out of debt, to be growing a business. Again, I've been in business 7 years now, y'all. 7 years. And so when people are like, man, I can't wait to quit my job. And I go, there has to be some consistency for you to quit your job. Right. And so thank you guys for putting a comment in the chat. Some people put they need 300 grand a year. Some people, their freedom number is 5K a month. Person put 8K a month, 4,500 a month. Great. Oh no, Vienna, like my sister's such a hard-headed person on the products. We haven't even finished doing her beauty products she wanted to put out. But I follow these two twin girls on Instagram and they listed off a bunch of products and I just got tired of Cantu and the coconut smell. And I was like, anything not coconut, I will attempt to try. So we have honey and pomegranate and it smells amazing in my hair right now. And I'm excited about it. So for those of you, thank you, Melissa. She put 3K passive income, 50K cash reserves, not going to liquidate my 401k or sell a rental property. There you go. Listen, some of these people in these videos I watched, they sold everything to buy a piece of land in the middle of nowhere because that's the only way it'll be done. So look, in an ideal scenario, okay, you have cash flow, savings, and, debt, right? Mind the gap. How much do you break a month? How much you have going out? And the reason you see people returning back to a life of less stuff, less materialistic, more in the woods, just further out, is because they can't afford it. They cannot afford it. And I'm not snapping on them. I'm not joking on them. I want you to understand that that's okay to recognize in life you can't afford something and reduce and pull on back out. Just, hey, all right, I can't afford it. That's not the life for us. We can't afford a mini mansion in the middle of Houston downtown. That will not be our life. That's okay to recognize that. But when people sit here and say, Eric, I want to quit my job, I'm going to tell you the ideal scenario for you to quit your job. Preferably, you have an LLC, a business bank account, and 2 years of business tax returns. That means 2 years still on your job and 2 years on your tax returns. Why? Because at this point, you're showing that your business has some consistency. And also, you'll be able to afford more right before you leave. Now, what do I mean? Most people who have a business and they have their home life situated, and I don't mean an apartment, I mean a home where they have an home office, and they can do all the work they need to do. Those people that I've encountered are less stressful because they already got the big thing out the way, which was the house. And anybody who's been in business, like I've been in business for 7 years at this point, when you go to try to get a house and you don't have a W-2, people look at you like you have grown a horn out the middle of your head. I mean, you can give them documents for 4 years straight that you made $500,000 and they be like, I just don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know if you can do it 5th year in a row. Because that's just what it is. That's the 99% of our economy is built to people who have a job. So when people tell me they want to quit their job all the time, I get exhausted on the phone. I'll be like, baby, do you understand that 99% of this world is built for folks who have a W-2? I remember one time, one of my clients said, Erica, I did what you said. And I said, what did you do? I took all my bank statements for 2 years over to the dealership, car dealership, because this person didn't have their stuff settled all the way they want. And we'll talk about that later. And so they took all their bank statements over there to the dealership. They said, Erica, they still wanted me to put $10,000 down. Now, he did want a big boy truck, and that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. I ain't judging him. But he was making $100,000 a year, 2 years in a row. This is why I tell you there's ways. And again, I think Linda Cameron talks about holding companies pretty thoroughly. I don't do that at all. But there are ways to structure and put yourself out there as an employee of your business. And I'm telling you, you need to have your documentation in a way that helps you. There you go. Exactly. Get your residential loans before you leave. I'd even say get your rental property, your second rental property, before you leave that job. Because what happens is it becomes a cat and mouse game of proving that you can afford to do it. So in my ideal scenario is you have 2 years, tax returns included, not you taking off 1 million deductions from your business 2 years in a row, showing a business that don't make no money, and then quitting your job. That's not what I said. 2 years of tax returns from showing your business is profitable and makes sense, and your job income. And there you can buy the house you want, the car you want, all the stuff you want before you leave that job. Okay? Because once you leave that job, it is your job to prove every little dollar, every little dime that goes in your bank account. It's your job to prove it to credit card companies. It's your job to prove it to everywhere. And so in that 2 years while you're ginning the business up, you can be getting vendor lines of credit. You can be getting unsecured lines of credit. You can be creating bank relationships. You could be also, and this is the most important part, whether people want to be honest or not, is building the mindset of a CEO. When you start doing something for 6 months, your family's like, okay, okay. When you start doing something for a year, your family gives you a little bit more credit. When you start doing something 2, 3, 4, 5 years, then your family's like, hey, what's up? Today I had a random cousin go, hey, Erica, can I get some money? I was like, what? No, you cannot get any money. Why not? Oh, I got to pay payroll. That's my easy out for everything. Oh, I got to pay payroll. Can't do it. Sorry. I can't do it. I got to pay payroll. And also it's about to be Black Friday. I was like, how dare you ask me before Black Friday? Ask for me after. But that's the thing. People don't understand that having your own business doesn't mean you're there to cut a check for them. Or anybody, honestly, right? And that's what I want you to understand. It's a mindset thing, not always a job thing. Now, number one thing too is marketing budget. I'll get on the phone with people every day and I go, what's the marketing budget that you have for this business? Oh, I'm gonna tell family and friends. I'm gonna type it all over Facebook and Twitter, and I'm gonna do all this. And I'm okay with that. Hey, salute to you. You want to market on Instagram, Facebook, and tell all your family. That's great. What did I just ask you? What's your marketing budget for strangers to buy this product and service from you? Because if you don't have one, this is the number one thing that kills people's businesses. See, people say, oh, businesses died from lack of capital. This is a lie. They die from lack of marketing. And you should not have a business that you're not spending $100 to $300 a month in marketing. Now, somebody's going to say, well, Erica, I don't need all that much. Yes, you do. Check any major Fortune 500 business, Fortune 5,000, Fortune whatever. They all have a line in the budget for marketing. It is a part of the business. It's not an option. It's not a free 99 everybody to death and harass them on their Facebook pages and tag 100 people every time you put a post about your business. That's not doing business. Get out there and you spend that hard on cash. $100 in a month is $3 a day. $300 a month is $3. What is it? $9 a day. And if you sit here and look me in my face and say you don't have $9 a day to invest in your business and advertising, then I don't know what you're doing. Even the hair braiders advertise. Even the hair braiders put out bandit signs. Even the girls doing hair use Facebook Marketplace. I was on Facebook today and I saw a marketing ad for a truck parking space. And I was like, brilliant. Because truckers be on the Facebook talking to the big booty betties. And yeah, they be on there. So my thing is, I try to get people to understand is you will have to market. And the people don't understand that is a line in your budget. So if you're gonna look me dead in your eye tomorrow, I'm ready to leave my job, then you better show me where you've been for the past year, because you got to have seasons in these businesses, not just I started, I quit. No, no, no. Seasons in these businesses to show that you can handle the seasons. Because sometimes I would tell people, well, in the summer is the worst time ever if you're online business, because parents don't buy anything because their children eat up all the food. 2020 has been the year of kids home, and they've been eating up all the food all year. So if you were an online business person selling online things, you had to find ways to market to these parents to show it was necessary. Okay. So again, I'm not saying you have to be Grant Cardone and drop hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, but I just want to give you a few examples. There are several business owners I know who spend $3,000 to $4,000 a month to get 30 to 40 grand every month in sales. There are several people. Frank Kerr spent $90,000 a month. He does 3-month segments. He never does it more than 3 months. $90 a month for 3 months in a row to make $250K each month back. So let's do the math on that. He spent $90K times 3. Somebody tell me what it is times 3 in the chat. I know, but I want y'all to tell me. All right. So Frank Kerr spent $90K a month, 3 months in a row. How much is $90K? Times 3, $270,000. Thank you, Goodman. And then on top of that, so he made $250K each month. So that means for 3 months, he did that for 3 months. That's $750,000. But I can tell you right now, there are people who are like, well, I wouldn't have spent that. I wouldn't have spent it. And you are not Frank Kerr and you wouldn't have made no money. Yes, that's correct. Right? There you go. There you go. $300 a month. Listen, I'm just telling you, everybody I know that has businesses that's been doing it as long as I've been doing it, they spend a certain amount of money. Even people telling you they're not spending money, honey, they spend money. You know how I know I'm in too many masterminds. Right now, today, I added myself to about 15 Facebook groups. Let me stop lying. I didn't add myself. My VA added me, but it's in person. You know what I'm saying? I told him to do it. So it's like I did it anyway. So he added me to 15 Facebook groups. And out of those 15 Facebook groups, we'll go in there and talk to people all day long and find out their marketing budgets, how much they're spending, where they're finding drivers, all kind of stuff. Why? Because you have to know what's going on in the marketplace. And that's how I know a lot of these numbers that I say, because I literally talk with other business owners on a daily basis. And again, the world is smaller than you think. People that are really doing it, let me be careful. People that are really doing over 6 figures every year in business, they know you have to spend some money. You just have to. It isn't like you're either going to spend it on your staff or you're going to spend it on your health after you wear yourself out. Tell your mom I said, hey. I appreciate all the mamas that watch the show. Tell them hi. And so getting that into your mind, that's a part of the budget, is also the mindset process. That's why I say it takes 2 years, and you should have 2 years on your job, because you ought to be, when you leave your job in the afternoons, you shouldn't be like, I'm so relaxed, I ain't gonna do nothing. There should be a sense of urgency. And if 2020 didn't give you any sense of urgency, again, I linked Glenn and Cameron earlier today to a whole video of this 89-year-old man delivering pizzas. And I said, Glendon, look at this. Oh my God. And he did a live on it. But think about that. Being 89 years old, delivering pizzas because you ran out of money at the end of your life. Most studies show people are going to run out of money towards the end of life. Even today, actually last week, when I was trying to finish closing up on these 2 businesses I'm purchasing, both the sets of owners are in their 60s. And when you start trying to talk about, hey, let's do 10 years of payments, 20 years of payments, let's do this, they look at you crazy. Baby, I'm already 66 years old. I'm not going to let you pay me for 20 years. I'll be dead. And in my mind, I wanted to giggle a little bit. I'm like, oh, wait, he right. He might be dead. And, even 10 years, when you start talking to people who are 60 years old, talking about 10 years from now, dude, I've talked about, having all these little kiddos and I might adopt the kids in the future. And my mom be like, baby, you don't be like 70, right? You keep waiting so many years. I'm going to be like 70 in 10 years. I think my mom will be 70 in maybe 11 years. I'm not certain. And so, so you're talking to him. You're like, oh yeah, you'll be old. You won't just be able to hop on the plane all the time. You won't be able to do all these things all the time. Time is of the essence. And so I get it. Lots of folks want to quit their job. Eric, I'm ready to quit my job. And I want you to understand that starting a business, running a business will take a lot of energy out of you. So it's much easier when you're in your 20s. It's much easier because you're building a muscle. You're building a muscle. That's why when people always ask me, well, Erica, what would you do if you had to start all over again? What would you do? And I keep telling them, once you get to a certain level of business, you don't start over. You just move laterally. You know what I mean? You start, again, you meet people, something doesn't work. They just move laterally. They just go over here. They just sell to a different audience. They just do something else. They just make something else. They just recreate over here. You'll see YouTubers start one channel, another channel, 3 channels, 4 channels, partner with people, do podcasts. Again, look at, what's his name? Charlemagne the God, right? He's doing the Breakfast Club in the morning. Don't want to do it no more. Ready to leave. It's causing a big ruckus. Well, then he pops onto another podcast with his friend Andy. Then he pops onto another podcast and does something else because he's already built that muscle. He can go on and talk for 7 hours in a day and come up with jokes and be silly because he's built that muscle for over 10 years. Really, I think it's 20 years at this point. And that's the kind of thing that happens in business. Once you start building this muscle, once you start building the expectations, once you start building the networking of people, you could literally go tomorrow and start a whole new company. And because all the people, hey, we started this new venture, blah, 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 right? Look at Max Chewing. All these people doing all this fitness stuff. And then they just laterally slide to energy drinks, laterally slide to fitness clothing, laterally slide to other things, which he is sour strips, slide to a podcast, because they've already built up the skills that it takes to run a business. And they know what it's going to take. And also they know a percentage of their following will follow them there. The reason they can sell out 1 million in sour strips and 1 million on Black Fridays is because they've built this audience in one genre and can drag it to another. That's it. Same thing when you talk to plumbers who, there's a company here in Austin called Kangaroo Roofing, because they have so many ads and commercials that drive me crazy. Kangaroo Roofing. Now they have another company called Kangaroo AC. And I have to look it up. I may be spelling it wrong. If anybody's here in Austin or Google Kangaroo Roofing, they have another company called Kangaroo, like Keep It Cold or AC or something. Well, you see the husband and wife all the time on roofing. Well, what's next to roofing? ACs, right? Now, I'm going to just tell you what I think they did. I think they bought out this AC company I used to see here in Austin. They done bought them out. But because they've been in roofing for 20, 30 years, they already know what it's like to run a service business. They're going to take them same skills and they're going to put their same name and stamp it on the AC something. So guess what happens when they go to your house? You got roofing issues. They dig in your roof. You got AC issues. Hey, let us quote you on your AC. Hey, let us quote you on this. That's all they're going to do. And they will have a second company that makes millions of dollars a year. I've got a friend who's in roofing. He does $1 million. He's a one-man show as far as the advertising and doing the quotes and all that stuff. But he has roofing teams. And we bought somebody on Middleman to Millions who did $100,000 in 3 weeks in roofing. So again, when my students are on Middleman to Millions, if you have a success story, come back in the class. We'll let you share your success story with the class. Because once you learn a skill, it's just lateral. You're just laterally sliding. That's why there's so much I could say. But again, you don't fall down and I'm homeless on the street. Like whenever I find people who have like these homeless stories, I go, well, what happened? Talk to me. Because see, they were teetering for years. They were teetering on not paying the rent, teetering on almost not having a car, teetering on quitting jobs, teetering on bad habits. Because see, who you were 10 years ago is adds to who you are today. Again, you'll see all these people who are married and complaining about their marriedness. And they've been married since they left high school, college and high school. Honey, they already made their die, cast their die 10, 12 years ago. What you complaining about? You set for life. Now just be quiet and roll with it. Right? In certain aspects, right? And even now, when you see these people on the internet complaining about men and women and relationships and all these things, and I go, in order to get what you want, 10 years ago, you was doing things that got you here. So now, if you tell me 10 years from now you want to be married with kids and do all these things, a whole new you has to emerge. About 180-degree change probably has to come out of your life. I remember we had this one friend, and she cracked me up, but she basically every day off work, she go straight home, watch TV, be home. There was a solid 3 months she just dedicated to going out of the house. Homegirl married now. She found a dude at a happy hour, and the rest is history. But it wouldn't have happened if she didn't get out of her comfort, because that dude didn't go to any of the circles we went. He didn't go to none of the churches we went. He didn't do no two-stepping. He was at a bar one day. That's it. At a happy hour, living his best life. And so a lot of times what you guys have to do is a 180-degree change, but no one wants to hear that. And that's not sexy for me to sell to y'all either. Like, hey, yeah, your life sucks. You need to change, right? Nobody wants to hear that. No one. I worked at my last job at a marketing agency for 2 years before I graduated college to build my agency. I built that business while working for someone who ran the same type of business. Yeah. And that's why I think Max Maxwell, I watched one of his videos. He had like a non-complete clause of one of the people he trained on staff. Because once you really learn some of these scale skills, because if you have a staff and you're not training them, what are you doing? 2, those people can take those skills anywhere if they're really so inclined, right? Because let's be really honest. When you have team A players on your team, they can go and do their own thing. Once they get enough skills, they can go do their own thing. The B players, the C players, the D players, you keep them because they'll stay consistent. There you go. My grandparents used rentals as their additional income. Now those houses are my mom's retirement on top of her state pension. Keep it rolling. There you go. She said, this is my child right now. Hey. Who posts timestamps? This can't crack me up. There you go. Yes, I made a lateral move from one 6-figure business marketing to data science. So true. You can slide once you have enough. Once you know enough information to be deadly, bounce. And what stops people from being deadly is debt. That's why I keep posting these videos. These people moving to the country because they know, okay, I can't make no more money. You know what I mean? That's kind of how they are. I can only make this amount of money. So something got to give. And that's usually what it is. And so I watched this guy's video where he was talking about he was going to file bankruptcy. And I was angry with him because he was a great salesman, right? And he was talking about his insurance company and all this other stuff. And at the end of the day, I was like, you could get out of it. You just don't want to do that extra that it would take to get out of it. Right? Because there's people right now you're going to see in 2020, they done bought too much house. They done bought too much car. They done bought too much everything. They're over leveraged, cash flow, what's the saying? We know who's swimming naked when the tide goes out. That happens. It happens way more than y'all think. And the only way that's out of that is 10X. People hate Grant Cardone, but it's the truth. The way out of that is 10X. See, Dave Ramsey's telling you to conserve. Stop spending money. Sit down. Take it down a notch. And you could do that. But mentally and spiritually, people freak out when they have to do that. That's why when Dave Ramsey program, people get out of it 12 months, 13 months, 14 months. They hurry up and pay off their debt because they can't take it. This feeling of constriction. Nobody wants to do that. Sorry, hold on. Okay, worsen people. Worsen. No one wants to do that. That's all. What's up, Carrollton, Georgia? Excuse me. Media and SEO are also lateral. The brand matters. The only one to convince you 100% organic is possible. Listen, I quit looking back. I'm glad for the learning experience of organic. But now that I have been introduced to people and things of marketing online, oh baby, I'm like, yeah, organic for 3 months to a year and then run them ads. What do I think about them? What are you using it for? Eric, I'm seeing so much entrepreneur spirit on social media recently. Yeah, people listen. You know that stupid song "Trap or Die" or whatever that dumb thing he used to say. You better get to building or die. I mean, there's a lot of people who, and I mean this so wholeheartedly. Like, 2 days ago when I remember her dying 3 years ago, it was like, damn, 3 years is like went like that. You could be here and gone tomorrow. And who wants to live this life of lackluster living? If you have an ideal, definitely go try. Right? If you have a problem with the sound, refresh your screen. I mean, someone's selling an idea on that, but that's a hustle. That's not a business. And why do I say it's a hustle and not a business? A lot of these things, can you hire staff to go do it consistently without your hand holding them? Go back and ask JT Hustles. He talks about that. Again, that's my big thing about it. A lot of the stuff y'all are watching online, and I mean, no disrespect, I love him. Like, I interviewed with him a while back. He's on this channel in a video somewhere. If you guys go check it out, the stuff they're talking about are hustles. They're just that. They're hustles, right? Like, I did an interview today on the Nick Looper, the Hustle, Side Hustle King. I did a podcast with them, and people are like, can I do it passively? Like, they want everything to be super passive, and I'm like, baby, it's just not possible. There'll be some activity. Like, everybody I know has some activity. You're just not going to get past having to put some skin in some game, some growth into the game. There's no way around it. Right? So even if I go and buy, 5 trailers and then rent them out to people, I still have to keep up with them. I still got to make sure they pay on time. There's just little things you'll have to do. Right. And that's what people really don't understand, that it's a mindset shift, and it's also, you need time in it. So before you quit your job, I strongly recommend 2 years with tax returns where you didn't write off everything, showing that you have a viable business to keep it pushing. Right. There's another great guy, Ryan Piella. He's Filipino. I've been sharing whoa, hey man. Thank you so much for the $50 super chat. I appreciate it, for real, you guys. The Ryan Piella, he has a house flipping business, right? He started in real estate. Then he has a CPA service next door. Why? Because he was trying to get a CPA to help him with real estate. Couldn't find one to do a good job. So then created, I think it's called True Books. Then on top of that, he just bought a Amazon automation store, bought some other stuff, YouTube as a business to make money. These things are skills. And once you get them, you can just laterally hop and put people in place to run them. That's just the thing of it. Sorry, y'all saying stuff in here. No, I don't have the cough. I have the, I've been on, this is my 7th Zoom related thing today, on top of workout and need more water in my system. That's the thing. You got the scale on out of it. There you go. I don't write them for fun, but I like decoding them. Like, I'm on the phone with people, and people pay for consults with me, and then I get on the phone with them, and we just deconstruct what you're trying to do. 9 times out of 10, people have an idea what they want to do in their head, They just need to hear it deconstructed. And what do I mean deconstructed? How much time is it going to take? How much effort is it going to revolve? How much does it going to need you to do? Several things. Deconstructed. Let me see here. Is it buffering? Refresh your screen. Hey, Erica, thanks so much for the encouragement. I started my business in YouTube thanks to being around 20%. Hey, bring your success story on. We love those. I mean, again, y'all, the reason I started with the Ride 20% is for people to interact with each other and be encouraged for 2020. Like, we weren't going to run for 2020. 2020 was going to happen either way. And 2020 was a sample. 2021 going to be something else. And so I want you to be ahead of the curve and not behind. That's the best way I can say it. Look at it. Big money growth just turning down jobs. He don't care about none of these jobs. If your job is a barrier to your business, that's when you quit your job. I always tell folks not to quit their jobs until the business is making more than you. Jay Mincy, I'll probably do like a midnight email, or we'll do an early 8 a.m. email tomorrow via the VA so you guys can see some of the courses. I think we're releasing 2 Friday and 2 Sunday. I'm not certain. I know they're coming out, but you'll like the topics. I will say that you will like them. But again, I want you to understand that it's a mindset shift. And the reason you have people who for 20, 30 years have been in business is they have patience, they have the mindset, and they can wait a minute. There has been parts of this year that were like terrible, awful. But because I had patience, they turned around. Because I had patience, I had to go, oh, cool. Oh, awesome. I'm going to have to share it. His and her money. Thank you so much. I'll share it on Instagram. I appreciate that. I'm glad it was a good podcast for you. NA, thank you for the $5 support. As per you say. SNS Consulting. Yep. Thank you so much. Y'all are, where's the plants at? Ryan P is a go-getter. I remember talking about flipping couches. Yeah, it's just, it's finding little niches in the market and expanding them, but then realizing to some extent they're not scalable, right? When I started talking to people and realizing, man, the average person only has 3 or 4 trucks. There's a reason. The headache, dealing with folk. You make plenty of money just with a couple of them if you can keep them running. So why be bothered? And I understand it, right? I can understand it. So listen, and again, what cracks me up is I love the Black Twitter, internet warriors, the detectives who, when people say something crazy and it go viral, they go find that person's picture. That's the best. Twitter is a mess, but it's the best when you see them just like dragging somebody on Twitter. You're like, oh, what did they do? It's always for the good reason. They never just drag people out of nothing. What's up, Sienna Herbert? Let's see what else y'all got in here. My LinkedIn is my name, Erica Williams, and there's a bajillion Erica Williamses. I wish SNS Consulting come fix my LinkedIn page. No, I'm saying. The rise of the 20% has more new videos in it. The Middleman to Millions has more videos in it. We just added the one where the guy who has a roofing company for 3 weeks made $100,000. We've added other videos in them. We just keep adding videos to them. A lot of my courses over there on the platform will continue to get videos added to them and expanding the content. You have it now. Same thing with the people in the tax lien course. They moved up the date for the Charleston, South Carolina tax lien. We done missed it, but we'll still talk about it. Don't do Cam like that. He got big time out here. And then I think in the rise of 20%, I think I have one where I'm going to focus on joining Facebook groups. There is a guy, I'm trying to bring him on the channel. I think he teaches about joining Facebook groups for fun and profit. I think I'll have to look it up. No. I don't want to fix it. I'll just tell my staff to fix it, but thank you. I use LinkedIn just enough. I could barely care less. Question. I'm thinking of moving to Texas, house hacking in a 3 to 4 unit. Oh Lord. Thoughts? I think you need a super chat. If you want that's a lot of thoughts you want there. That's too many thoughts you want on that. My brain ain't gonna got enough bin for that. Um, again, the video tonight is when should you quit your job after your businesses take over your life. It like you don't have enough time in the afternoon to finish your business work. You'd have to hire somebody, a VA, to get it done. But I want y'all to understand, most businesses, it's the marketing. If your marketing starting to ramp up, you're going to need somebody on staff to handle the emails, to handle the customer service. Once you start ramping it up at that point, then once you get that ramp in, they are blurry. Well, we might have to cut it early then. But I forgot YouTube class last night. That's the thing. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, I'm sorry they're blurry. So yeah, again, some of the businesses that a lot of y'all want to start, even if I really want to talk more about people in their blogging, like Pinterest. There's a girl I'm trying to get her to come on the Ride 20%. Man, that Pinterest is lit. She really has some firepower there growing that channel. But again, connecting to your audience, connecting to people, converting, making sales, that is how you grow a business, period. Again, if you want a service business, getting sales, getting clients, getting reviews, that's how you grow your business. All these things are hour to 2 hours every day, sometimes more if you have staff. But anyways, you guys, this is your girl Erica from the Classic Line blog. I've been here 41 minutes. I hope this was informative. A lot of y'all I hope you've been noticing the trend of people moving to get into these houses, to get in these cheaper areas. You got to pay attention, man. Listen, art of becoming more. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Like Pinterest is big money right now. Staffing agency is good business. Yes, for group homes. Congratulations, Lone Wolf. Let me see. What did you say here? I'm sorry. Erica, I told Andre about the Middleman to Millions class, and he might get into roofing. Listen, okay? It's some money out there. I'm glad it helped. I got my LinkedIn and resume redone per your advice, and it looks amazing. Congratulations, man. Listen, get out there and get it. I'm sorry you missed it. I'm sorry you missed it, but yeah, I just had to do that real quick, and you guys will probably see the classes drop later tonight. But again, y'all, listen, don't be in a rush to quit now. Use that money. Use that money to get your freedom. Okay? Use that money to go ahead and buy the house you want before you leave that job. Get the car you want before you leave that job. So you have a little bit of cushion. Pay for 3 or 4 months of marketing. Do that. That's definitely what I'm going to tell you. So anyways, you guys, this is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. Thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you for supporting the channel. And again, that's spot on. Work your 9 to 5 to fund your 5 to 9. You don't want to be out here 89 years old delivering pizzas now. You better get out there and get busy trying to create it and knock it out the park. All right, you guys. This is your girl Erica. Later.